नमस्ते नमः सभायै सभापतये च नमः. My topic is revisiting Satyarth Prakash, relevance in the present and for the future in the context of education, social structure and political structure. But today I will focus only on education because for the time limitation. And it's related to chapter 2 and chapter 3. Although officially the chapter 3 is about the Shiksha, the education. The Satyarth Prakash, authored by Swamiji in 1875, is a landmark text of reform, region, and Vedic revival. Far beyond a historical document, it remains a beacon for societal transformation rooted in truth, critical thinking, and dharma. It's called for a rational, ethical, and inclusive society continues to resonate powerfully in the 21st century. As we stand in the 21st century, facing rapid technological advancement alongside its moral, environmental, and social crisis, revisiting the timeless wisdom of Satyarth Prakash, which is rooted in the Vedic principles, yet rational, can act as a moral compass. So today my talk is about the one key area. The text offers valuable insights for contemporary society and the future, and that is the education, with the reference of chapter 2 and chapter 3. And the chapter 2 is about upbringing the kids, or you can say in a contemporary word, the preschooling or non-formal education. In our Vedic scriptures, Dharma Shastras, the actual age to admit in a formal education or first grade, it was prescribed 8 years. 5 to 8 years after Upanan Sanskar or Janev Sanskar. And before that, the child needs to be learned, educated by the parents or family in a informal style. And if we see the whole world, most of developed countries, highly educated countries, will find the same pattern. Nowadays, in most of countries, it's the 6-year-old, 6 year the age to get the admission in first grade. Most of Scandinavian countries, even in Singapore, the age of getting admission in first grade is 7 or 8 grade. So our Dharma Shastrakaras knew the child psychology, what should be the best for a child to get the formal education. Before that, he or she should go through the informal practices. And Swamiji also prescribed the same thing, the preschooling structure in the second chapter. The second Samullas emphasizes the fundamental stage of human life, childhood, and how right education, discipline, and all the samskaras should begin from the very start. He offers a structured Vedic guideline for parenting, or you can say early education, arguing that a child's future depends significantly on their upbringing. The Swamiji emphasizes the parental responsibility because parents are seen as the first teachers. Swamiji himself quotes from Shatpat Brahmana, Matruman, Pitruman, Acharyavan, Purusho Veda. So they must be virtuous, wise and careful in speech and behavior, because children don't learn from us through our speeches, they learn from us through our behavior, characters. The impressions a child receives in the early years become deeply rooted in their personality. Children learn through observations, parents' behaviors, languages, habits, daily conduct directly influence the child. We see in our Sunday school, Sanskriti schools also, parents bring their children to learn Hindi. After 5 years, 10 years also, their children cannot speak the Hindi. The parents complain and ask the parents, do you speak Hindi in your home? No. So children are smarter than parents. They know what parents want. The parents are their own complex. So they know Hindi speaking is not so superior thing, it's an inferior thing. Just my parents are pushing me to do something just to save their skin. So they don't speak the language. So the problem is children learn from our characters, our behaviors. So Swamiji emphasizes family environment must be moral and discipline, truthfulness, cleanliness, humility, devotion, respectful behavior should be demonstrated at home by the parents themselves. I'm quoting Swamiji from chapter 2. वह संतान बड़ा भाग्यवान है जिसके माता और पिता धार्मिक और विद्वान हो. जितना माता से संतान को उपकार पहुंचता है उतना किसी से नहीं. जैसे माता संतानों पर प्रेम उनका हित करना चाहती है उतना अन्य कोई नहीं कर सकता. मातृमान अर्थात प्रशस्ता धार्मिकी विदुषी माता विद्यते यस्य स मातृमान. धन्य वह माता जो गर्भाधान से लेकर जब तक पूरी विद्या ना हो तब तक सुशीलता का उपदेश न करें. माताएं परेशान मत होइए, आगे पिता के ऊपर भी बोलेंगे तो आप कहेंगे कि सारी जिम्मेदारी हमारे ऊपर क्यों थोप दिया. So and the second topic about the second chapter is the language. The child should be taught clear and focus what Swamiji is saying. The rational language and truthful expression. Avoid telling lies or encouraging superstition and as they corrupt the mind early. And the focus of point is Swamiji is saying that children should be taught how to pronounce any syllable or letter, the intonation, where to pause, where to give the stress. The child should learn from the beginning. It's not about Sanskrit, Hindi, French, Germany, or English. It's about how to pronounce a particular syllable. It can, in Sanskrit, it can be pa, the lips should be used, but in English, P, the P, F, B, in Sanskrit, we say papa, baba, ma. But in English, you can say the P, F, M, etc. In every language, you will find the sound P, P, M, B, P. They should be come out of your lips. In the same way, the ta, tha, da, dha, na should come from your teeth. And it's a universal phenomena. Every language has the same phonetics. So स्वामी जी सिंह जब बोलने लगे तब उसकी माता बालक की जीवा जिस प्रकार कोमल होकर स्पष्ट उच्चारण कर सके वैसा उपाय करे, जिससे कि उसके बिना शुद्ध उच्चारण ह्रस्व दीर्घ मीन्स द लॉन्ग और शॉर्ट, प्लूत, और यू कैन से हेवी, लाइट लेटर्स, संयुक्त वर्णाज ठीक बोल नहीं सकता. जब 5-5 वर्ष के लड़का लड़की होवे तो देवनागरी अक्षरों का अभ्यास कराएं. तो नाउ कम्स द स्क्रिप्ट, द देवनागरी स्क्रिप्ट which is adopted by Hindi, Marathi, Nepali, in many Indian languages. Remember, the script is not Hindi. The script not is the Sanskrit. The script is different. Languages are different. The script is Devanagari, which is adopted by Hindi, Sanskrit, Marathi, Nepali, and many other languages. Like today, many people in most of European languages accept the Roman script. The Roman script is the English script. So, because of the यूनिटी, द नेशनल यूनिटी, देवनागरी अक्षरों का अभ्यास करे, अन्य देशीय भाषाओं का अक्षर का भी बच्चे को ज्ञान हो. Then Swamiji is focusing on mental and moral development, and these are should be taught in the early stage. Teach the child to speak truthfully, respectfully, and kindly, instill fearlessness, curiosity, and a sense of duty, encourage respect for elders, compassion for all beings, and self-control. And there is also, in the second chapter, you'll find Swamiji describing lots of things about the superstitions, the ghost, spirit, witch, astrology, etc. The child's mind should be trained since the beginning what to accept and what to not accept. You know, I have seen people working in science field. I don't call them scientists or something. Or you can say scientists, engineers, mathematicians. Generally, those whose job is to think rationally, logically. But they do it in their office, in their job. Most of scientists, engineers, mathematicians, in their own life, they are very much superstitious. They believe all kinds of false beliefs. It's not Hindu, Christian, or Jews, nothing. The world phenomena. Because we didn't develop that scientific temperament in the childhood. They learned that scientific temperament in school, college, and university. But till that, the child is already built up. You know, one thing, if you argue with someone, there is no ghost and spirit. Many people maybe here will come, yeah. But I have many friends, they have seen the bhoot. Dying, they have seen it. There are lots of documentaries in BBC, CNN, the History Channel, documentary channel. Thousands of episodes about ghost, spirit. How can you say this is not true? The simple thing, if you don't believe in those things, you will never see a ghost and spirit. But if you believe, you will definitely see it. And that belief comes from the childhood education. Once your mind is inculcated, the sense of existence of bhoot, pret, etc. is already inculcated in your mind. Even you are a great scientist, still in your subconscious, you have to accept it. That's how Swamiji is saying. Train your child from the childhood what to believe or what to not to believe. I can guarantee you, 70% of people related to Arya Samaj also believe so many absurd things. Although they know the Arya Samaj principles and everything, why they believe? They are bound to believe. They are just compelled by their trained mind. That's how Swamiji is focusing. Our children should be trained from the beginning. जिससे संतान किसी धूर्त के बहकाने में ना आए, जो विद्या धर्म विरुद्ध हो, भ्रांति जाल में गिराने वाला व्यवहार हो, उनका उपदेश कर दें, जिससे कि वो भूत प्रेत आदि मिथ्यावादों का विश्वास न करे. And it should be from the beginning of the childhood. Then the spiritual and cultural foundation. Introduce the child to simple prayers, Vedic mantras. I'm saying what Swamiji said. And daily routines like Sandhya, maybe in a simple form, formalize the child with concept of dharma, God, Atma, moral values through story or conversation. And also, Swamiji prescribe all those samskaras. We know that childhood sanskara, jata karma, namakarana, annaprashana, mundana, upanayana. These are all refining rituals meant to build a moral and spiritual foundation. But all those ceremonies should be done in a ceremonial way, not just to as a ritual. Parents should make it in a festive way. Everyone should remember this. Then the brahmacharya and discipline, the lifestyle discipline. The Swamiji advocates the brahmacharya ashram, student life, which is coming after the 7th or 8th years, as the best time for the self-control, learning, service, and development of intellect and values. Avoid harmful influences. Just I told you, children must be protected by parents from bad company, immoral stories, that immoral songs and superstitious practices. Don't let the child hear vulgar songs. Now, if you go to now in India, you see the very children belong to the very good family, educated family. Small girls and boys are singing the Bollywood songs with dual meaning and dancing on that, and parents have no complaint. So it's our duty, and remember, it's not I am saying, so you cannot blame me for anything if I'm saying something wrong. The Swamiji is saying, I'm just quoting. Do not let the child hear vulgar songs, watch immoral behavior, once again spoiling children with excessive indulgence or blind love, or be exposed to false beliefs. So this is the stage, the early education stage, childhood, is a preparation for the formal education. By the time the child reaches the age of 8, they should already be disciplined in daily routine, know basic equity, etiquettes, and morality, be curious, confident, and respectful. This prepares them to receive formal education in a gurukul or in a contemporary way in a school with focus and respectivity. So now come to the chapter 3, which is about formal education. I'm quoting, Swamiji starts this chapter with a beautiful shloka. Vidya vilasa manaso dhritashila shiksha satyavrata rahita mahanamala sansara dukkha dalanena subhushitaye dhanya nara vihita karma paropakaraha. The shloka which Swamiji is quoting is defining an educated person. The meaning, blessed are those whose mind is ever engaged in the pursuit of knowledge, who have good character and nature, who follow the rules of speaking the truth, who are free from vanity and impurity, who remove the impurities of others, impurity related to ignorance, injustice, etc., who are adorned with truthful teaching, and by dispelling the pains and sorrows of the worldly people through imparting real knowledge. The real knowledge is important. Who are engaged in helping others by performing the deeds, by following the injunctions of Vedas. You can say Vedas and Vedic scriptures. So the third Samullasa of Satyartha Prakash presents a compelling vision of the Gurukul system, emphasizing character building, moral instruction, and holistic development. Unlike today's education system, which often prioritize rote learning and career-oriented knowledge. But the traditional educational system, what Swamiji is advocating, is approach focused on cultivating wisdom, self-discipline, and community service. Just now, I think Acharya Barunji make us to recite a mantra. Anratat Satyam Upayim. When the Upanayana Sanskara happens, after getting the sacred thread, the child is doing havan and he is offering with 5 sankalpa mantras. The last word repeatedly coming, that is idamaham anratat satyam upayimi. So that is the objective of education, because the child is now going to get the formal education through this initiation, Janev Sanskar. And the objective of education is idam aham. Through the education, I am going from anrita, falsehood, untruth, to satyam, the truth. So that is the objective of any education, to get knowledge, going from falsehood to truth, accepting the truth and digesting the truth. These are all different things. Knowing the truth is different, accepting the truth is something else, and digesting the truth something else, and also preaching the same truth to others. So that is the goal of any educator or educated person. That's how. And the 8 years, इसलिए 8 वर्ष के हुए तभी लड़कों की और लड़कियों को लड़कियों के शाला में भेज दें। 5वें अथवा 8वें इन समवेयर एल्स 5वें अथवा 8वें वर्ष से आगे अपने लड़के लड़कियों को घर में न रख के पाठशाला में अवश्य भेजें। मीन्स इट्स फ्लेक्सिबल, 5 years to 8 years, 9 years, whenever the time comes, the child should start the formal education. Yeah, in third chapter, there is a big part of the discussion is about how to learn Vedic scriptures. That's a different thing. Those who want to be scholar, those who want to be master in Sanatan Dharma, they should follow that pattern. The Vyakarana, Vedangas, Upangas, Dharmashastras, Vedas, and for that, these are the time limits how to learn. For a common person, if we skip that part also, still it is very relevant even today. In today's age marked by mental health crisis, lack of emotional resilience, and moral ambiguity, blending the Gurukul ethos with modern scientific and technical education can yield a balanced citizenry. And Swamiji is prescribing, whatever you are going to learn, Dharmashastras or the secular literatures, make sure examine it before learning the book, reading the book, or studying from a teacher. Examine both of them through 5 examinational processes. अब जो पढ़ाना हो वो अच्छी प्रकार परीक्षा करके होना योग्य है। अब परीक्षा 5 प्रकार के, it's prescribing 5 types of examinations. I'm just reading the English part. Whatever is in accordance with qualities, functions, nature of God, and that conforms to the Vedas, that is true. What is against it, it is falsehood. The second, whatever is in accordance with the order of creation, or you can say the law of nature, anything which is accordance with the law of nature is right. Anything against the law of nature is wrong. Third, आप्त अर्थात जो धार्मिक विद्वान सत्यवादी निष्कपटियों का संग. Apt means reliable person, a person whatever is in accordance with the company and teaching of a person who is righteous, well learned, truthful, honest. That is acceptable, and whatever is against it, that is unacceptable. The fourth is according to the purity of your own soul. Listen your own common sense. Like Manusmriti, Maharshi Manu says, Shruti Smriti Sadachara Swasya cha Priyamatmana. To know what is good and bad, Shrutis are the absolute authority. The second, if you cannot follow that, if you don't know or any issue, then follow the Smriti Shastras, Dharma Shastras, and other literatures. If you still cannot get the answer, or if you are not that educated, then read the biographies. Biographies of whom? Those who are the great people, Sadachari, Dharmatma, Vidwan, Sri Rama, Krishna, and many others. Learn from them what they have done in a particular crisis or dilemma. Follow them. And even you cannot do that, the last one is listen your own common sense, inner voice. Swasya cha priyamatmana. The Swamiji is saying, apne atma ki pavitra. I'm quoting. Just as you like happiness and dislike sorrow, understand everywhere that if I also give sorrow or happiness to someone, then he will also be unhappy and happy. And the last fifth is the pramanas, the 8 types of proofs of source of knowledge, namely pratyaksha, we can say direct perception, anumana, inference, upamana, analogy, shabda pramana, apta pramana, that is word testimony, then aitiha, history, presumption or implication, that arthapatti, probability, then absence, abhava. So, I'm quoting, should be read and taught after examining them with the evidence of the scriptures. Otherwise, students can never understand the reality or truth. Whichever book is taught, examine it in the above manner and teach only that book which is found to be true. So now I'm concluding. So Dayanand Saraswati stress on critical inquiry that mostly Indian people are now gradually lacking. I always say that in this world, there is only one community, Hindu community or Vedic Dharmic community, whatever you take the name, the most unique type of community, especially the educated Hindu people. They know everything about everything except themselves and their own culture, own religion, own tradition, own things. So, because we are more focused on, maybe because of the India is a poor country for hundreds of years, so we are very much struggling to be rich or get all the material things, although we speak a lot of things about spiritual and all things, but practically we are more, our parents, our children are more focused on how easily I will be getting richer and prosperous, but that's okay. But what we are lacking is learning or reading or studying other books, other literatures to develop our own wisdom. So that's how. And we are lacking, that's how the critical inquiry, the tarka vichara. That tarka vichara resonates with the scientific temperament needed today. While the Gurukul stress on humility and discipline fills the emotional void after created by competitive, individualistic education, incorporating meditation, ethics, yama niyama. But what are the yama niyamas? Don't describe them in a very classical way. These are all life values, ethical things. Vedic literature and environmental awareness into curricula. You just heard about the Shanti mantra. every time we recite the Shanti mantra, curricula can nurture both the intellect and coincidence. So I'm concluding. Core ideas and present day relevance, focus on logic, science, and values, based on Vedic principles, truth, inquiry, jigyasa, which gradually we are lacking, mostly Indian people are lacking, and morality, advocate universal, rational, and Vedic-based education, emphasizes moral, physical, and intellectual development, equal education for all gender. That is another part of the Swamiji's educational policy, the gender equality, calls for the education for both men and women, encourage critical thinking. Today we call it scientific temperament. That is the critical thinking over rote learning, promotes inquiry, debate, and freedom of thought over blind belief, rejects superstition and blind faith, calls for a value-based education system rooted in ethics and truth, addressing the current moral vacuum in many educational systems, including Western and Eastern, encourages integration of ancient wisdom, logic, Ayurveda, etc., with modern scientific knowledge, and a model for a holistic education, that is Jnana Karma Upasana, intellectual, Jnana, physical, Karma, and Upasana, spiritual, can inspire curriculum reform in India and beyond internationally, rooted in sustainability, region, and ethics. So thank you very much for listening me. Again, thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आदरणीय Acharya ji. Thank you so much for your inspirational words and give us the educational teachings about Satyat Prakash. We look forward to working with you, with your guidance in reforming and how we can bridge the gap between modern education and the Vedic education and how we can have it relevant in North America. So please give him a round of applause. I'll ask him to be welcomed and honored by Kamleshwar ji and Guru ji.